came here to the TED Talk to talk about the evolution and the human effect. So I want to start with what is evolution? Evolution is the change in inherited traits of population of organisms through successive generation, which means that small genetic changes creates new species and it gives greater chance to get selected from nature, which gives us better chance to reproduce and change the characteristics of the whole population. And also, the interesting fact is that the human actually did adapt it to a lot of different environments by using their brains, like making their tools. The second thing is I want to talk about the advantage of evolution. The first advantage is that evolved species have better chance to survive from nature community. Evolved species have more characteristics that are more suitable to the environment because those species got the characteristic by adapting to the environment. Species that did not adapt it to the environment got killed by predators or disease. The second advantage is that it provides genetic diversity. According to the research, evolution has 4 steps, and the second step is called inherited variation. During this process, there are a lot of species that have different characteristics. This vulnerable species provides a genetic diversity. Usually, species who did not get selected from nature dies out from disease or predators, but the species don't die out instantly, which means that there are still species who survives. Also, species who get selected from nature are not all the same. There are still diversity in selected groups. So, the third thing I want to talk about is the disadvantage of evolution. The first disadvantage is the viral evolution, which is bad for human and animal species. Viruses reproduce really fast, which can be worked as disadvantage for animals and human beings. Viruses can close themselves really fast because they are built in simple form. Virus is made of nucleic acid and surrounded by a protein coat called capsid. There are many diseases that are caused by a virus and bacteria that are hard to cure. For example, Ebola is a virus that is found on Ebola River in 1976 and it has death rate of 50 to 90%. Another crucial viral infection is called polio. It is highly crucial because it is an infectious disease of a nervous system. People usually get fever, headache, muscle pains, and the pain grows bigger and bigger from time to time, and muscle gets weaker and weaker. This virus had no cure or vaccine until 1960, but now there is a vaccine that eliminates polio from most of the world. The second disadvantage is that the evolution made variety types of species and fossils, which made it harder for scientists to know all the species. One of the best ways to know about the species is fossils. Fossils tell us characteristics, age, and the location. However, the evolution made it hard for scientists to search because there are so many types of animals that evolved. For example, we found 19 human species that have evolved until now, and there are thousands of fossils that the world found. However, humans cannot be compared with other species because other species live much longer than human beings, which means that there's still much more fossils than humans. The last thing I want to talk about is the human effect on animal evolution. Human created pollution that changed climate, which influenced a species evolution. The best thing I could talk about is the nuclear bomb that had been dropped on Japan during World War II. Influenced the evolution dramatically. The researchers said that the biodiversity in Japan is higher there than before the accident. The scientists and experts claim that the most vulnerable species died and remained naturally selected species adapted to the radioactive environment and reproduced. For example, the researcher from University of Missouri compared soy plant from Chernobyl, which is the place where nuclear bomb was dropped, and soy plant from other unpolluted area, and the researcher found out that the soy plant from Chernobyl contains special protein that defends cells from heavy metal and the radiation damage. Even more interesting fact was that the soy plant also contained one protein that protected human blood from radiation. Also, some organisms got infected by radiation and turned into a strange looking monsters like this. So, what we can learn about my TED Talk? You can learn about a lot of interesting informations, but I want you guys to have one specific lesson. And the lesson is that evolution is a process that can never be stopped, and there is no way human to not affect on other species evolution because we're influencing other species unconsciously. And on the other hand, other species are influencing us, humans, as well. Believe it or not, you're influencing other species right now.